game there. What's going on? Boom. Representing the 87s. What's up, everybody? Hey, what's happening, man? What's good? Hope everyone's had a good weekend. Can you hear me? Can you hear me all right? We got Sneaker Grandpa coming on, legend. Then I'm gonna do a few reveals. Thanks to my man from 37th. Shouts to Alex and Jerry from Itch Pig as well. Unfortunately, the jumper didn't come, so that's next show. 100%, man. Starting, yeah, something good, you know? Let's get it. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Turn this up a little bit. No, thanks for having me.
Yeah, 100%, man. 100%, yeah. Everyone, this is Sneaker Grandpa. If you want to introduce yourself and tell my viewers that don't know who you are and what you do in the sneakers.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Patrick Dempsey. I'm from Austin, Texas. 47 years old. I am I guess, a lifelong sneaker collector addict. I don't know if everybody likes the term sneakerhead or not, but it's sort of one of those things that was not exactly a thing back when we were younger, right? And now it's become a thing. So, and I also am actually not a grandpa. I'm a father. I've got two younger daughters, my wife. I think that the gray beard just kind of did it for me. It kind of came about in a roundabout sort of way, and someone said, "Enjoy the sneakers, grandpa," and I just kind of ran with it. I thought, you know what, that's kind of funny, sneaker grandpa, I'll go with it. So that's where that comes from. But yeah, I'm just a regular dad. I work at a partner in an advertising firm, live here in Austin, and just love to buy sneakers, talk about sneakers, share them, and that's it. So I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like I told you that story, the message my friend sent me, your Instagram, and now I was busy at work, and then I was thinking Sneaker Grandpa. The whole day I was thinking to myself, I've seen this, I know I've heard of it somewhere. I got home at 8 and had a shower or whatever, and I was on the couch, and I went to go check out your Instagram, and then when I was typing sneaker, I was like, hold on a second, and I went to YouTube, and it was you, George Keel, and I was like, man, that's one of my favorite. Like, I knew the name, somewhere, and I ask everyone this that comes on my show, when you were a kid, like let's say fifth, sixth grade or something like that, was there, like this is before, way before, like, sneakers and stuff, like collecting sneakers, was there a shoe that you fell in love with as a kid, like that you always wanted, or and then as you got older you ended up being able to buy it?
Yeah, I mean, I think, up to that point of fifth or sixth grade, I'd always kind of been keeping up with what everybody else had. So it was strange things like Kappa. I don't know if you remember Kappa at all. They had the two sets of laces. There was some Reebok like the ACT 600 and things like that I saw other people have that I kind of wanted. But really, this one right here, I mean, it just so happened when you say fifth or sixth grade, this was the shoe, 1985, 1986, that I wanted and that I didn't get until, I don't know, probably 8, 10 years ago. So yeah, I mean and I think I'm not unique in that way, that this shoe really started for a lot of people, because it really became, I think, in a
Yeah,
lot of ways, like the one you wanted. It became a status symbol, and it became iconic in ways that before that, the term I use is utilitarian. Shoes were sort of, you used
yeah,
them for what they were, but this became something that was just cool. You had to have it. So yeah, this it would have to be this one right here.
yeah. For me, the Jordan I fell in love with first was the 5. I always
Okay.
loved the tongue, man. The tongue of like the top of it was just like I love the other ones, but that one was the one. That's why it became my favorite Jordan, the 5. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
yeah, how old were you when you first started, like fully like, okay, I want to collect sneakers, like as a
I mean, honestly, it wasn't until probably about 10 or 12 years ago. I mean, I just, and again, I think for lots of reasons. I mean, back then, like you said, the five. So for me, the six was the first one I ever had. The black infrared six was, and that was my senior year in high school. And that was a pair that I hooped in. So it wasn't, it was kind of a fulfillment of the one, the two, the three, the four, the five, never got them, never got them. Finally, the sixes I got, but I actually wore them for what they were intended for. But I think after that, you know, it wasn't until, like I said, probably about 10 or 12 years ago where after having, you know, built up a business and built a house and had kids and actually had, you know, a chance to kind of go back and enjoy those things. And that's probably about when I started to enjoy it. And I've said it before, I kind of miss that kind of golden era, I guess, of the Nike talk and all the message boards and things like that, where things were exchanging hands and people were helping out. I think when I came in was sort of right when it was starting to really take off. And then since then, obviously, as you know, in the last probably just 5 years, especially, it's totally turned. It's just a 180, and it's
Yeah,
different. I mean, I try and not be negative about things because I think there's so many positive aspects, but I definitely would say it's changed a ton.
yeah, it has. Yeah, 100%. Like, especially with you know, there's a lot of shoes that will come out, and you know, you can't go to the shop to try them on. You know what I mean?
No.
And you got to go on the bots and stuff like that. That's one thing that's a bit sad. I mean, but usually the sneakers I get into, I don't have problems like that. You know what I mean? You can get them. You know, like most tennis shoes and stuff like that that people
Yeah.
won't use. But I love Jordans. My first pair was the 12s. I got them cheap at the local shopping center, and I think the 13 or 14 was out at the time, so they had them for $90, and I couldn't believe it. I was wrapped. I was like, yeah, I was like, I was pumped on that. You know what I mean? What's your favorite? Like, if you had to wear one brand, what would it be?
Well,
Adidas.
it's funny when you say that, like as far as you know, sort of fishing in that pond where nobody else is fishing. I mean, I guess it'd probably be in that Reebok Saucony family.
Yeah,
Um, you know, I think when you talk about that sneak peek, that was kind of the one things I really focused on was the classic leather 30th anniversary from Reebok that really got me into it. I mean, I'd always been a collector, but I think that really was a cool chance to sort of collect the set because I've always been a set guy, whatever it was. I was baseball cards or Star Wars figures or whatever. It was about the sets, and so that whole idea of you know the chase of it, the hunt of it, and finding it and tracking it down. You know, this is probably the one that really started it was the burn rubber classic leather. Um,
that's
with the family and God on the other one, and just the whole story behind it. I watched the video on the making of it, and it just kind of got me started. And like I said at the time, I don't think I even realized what all was going on in the sneaker world, what the opportunities were. And then, of course, you had asked about this one, so I had to bring it on. The foot patrol, the foot patrol, the mid or the high, I guess it's a mid.
love.
Just cool shoe. Came with tons of laces. I don't even think these are all the laces, but it came with I don't know how many different laces and just a cool shoe, totally different from what else is out there. And so, you know, that just really got me hooked on that.
Yeah, grouse. And is that it? And I know you collect Adidas and New Balance as well. Do you still like? I know the first Jordan one was the one when you were a kid. Do you have like also a collection of Jordans that you like, or is it just mainly the ones and the sixes?
Uh, I have quite a few pairs of ones. I grabbed the fives, the white fives, although I probably prefer the black fives, and I do have the black sixes. Um, I really do like the twos myself, and I feel like they don't get enough love. And then, of course, this week I turn around and see that Off-White's going to do a pair. I'm like, great, you know, now they're just going to kill it. I don't know why Nike can't just give us a proper retro of the two
Yeah,
main twos that came out in highs and lows, but I know they haven't sold great in the past, but still that's probably one I'd like to grab. And then I've got the basic threes and fours in white and black. Don't venture too much far out from that. So yeah, that's about it. Pretty much for me, the one through six, and then a nine, just because I had the nines in college, and that was it. After that, I don't. I mean, they're just really not for me. So that's about it. But tons, a lot. I have a lot of ones. I probably have about 12 or 15 pairs of ones.
yeah. What brand have the most of? Do you think would it be Reebok or
Uh,
Saucony?
no, Reebok for sure. I mean, definitely between the 30th anniversary set and then I've been lucky enough to be on their list a couple times now, sort of back on that now. So I've gotten, you know, probably, I don't know, 30 or 40 50 free pairs along the way. So there's a lot in there as well. I actually like trying a lot of the newer stuff too.
Yeah,
Um, some of the trail runners, some of the sort of more aggressive late 90s, early 2000s sort of tech runners. But I think the problem is that people tend to only want to buy the basics, the classic leathers, the Club C's, and then of course the questions and some of the pumps and stuff like that. So even though Reebok tries to bring back and revive some of those older models, they don't quite take off as well as they should, which is great for me because usually, like you're saying, I can end up finding them on sale or they send me a pair or whatever, and that's fine for me. But it's one of those things where I wish more people would give them a chance and see kind of what's out there and what's beyond just the Jordan ones and the off whites and the Travis Scotts and that type of stuff.
yeah, yeah, 100%. Because there is so much more out there. You know what I mean? And like, I was gonna say, do you, and in the Nice Kicks episode, do they still have the store near your house, the one that you talk about there, or is that did you build relationships with other stores as well and brands? How you just said Reebok sends you stuff, and
Yeah,
how did
so that Nice Kick shop was actually on the University of Texas campus here. Um, and at some point along the way, Matt Halfhill, who runs the Nice Kicks blog, the website, he had opened this. Well, he sold the retail aspect of it to Shoe Palace, which Shoe Palace is now part of the larger JD Sports Finish Line type of deal. So it's a bigger deal. And so, at the time, the guys that I really got to know, I mean, I was going there more for the relationships and the people I knew there
yeah,
than I was for necessarily the store. I mean, there was a place to get shoes, but it also was a place to go hang out and get to know people. Well, eventually those guys kind of moved on and went other places, and so I kind of lost that personal one-to-one relationship. But it just so happens that the guy who was the general manager and ran the shop, just recently opened his own shop called Kicking It, which is here in Austin also. And then a lot of the guys who work there now work over there, and so I've kind of
beautiful.
have a new place to go hang out and do all that because, like I said, I mean, I'm buying shoes there, sure, and getting things, but a lot of it is about the relationships and having a place to go to talk about the releases or talk about life or whatever else it is. And so, but also actually through Instagram, I mean, I've gotten to know Lapstone and Hammer, Fresh Rags, other places like that that are in totally different towns that I've just managed to connect with the owners um, that are out there, and it just so happens that they're also businessmen, that they're fathers, that they're into sneakers. So we have a lot of commonalities. We end up talking half the time or more than half the time about something other than sneakers. So
Oh,
yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's cool.
oh, that's good, man. That's good. And how did the relationship with Reebok start? Was it through your Instagram and the Nice Kicks episode, or that was
Yeah,
what? Oh, I think the Nice Kicks episode was that 6 years or something, 5 years?
yeah. I think I just posted like 6 years ago in March, I think. So it doesn't seem like that long ago, and it's just weird the way it came about. I mean, I was in there all the time, and then George was in there one day, and they were talking about. I was off to the one side talking to one of the employees, and they heard him say, "Hey, well, what about Mr. Dempsey?" And I was like, "What are y'all talking about? Like, do you want to do a sneak peek?" And I said, "What's that?" Like, I have no idea. I mean, because at the time they all basically were based on celebrities or athletes or people who had collections that were more or less unattainable. It was all about the samples and the one of ones and all those type of things. And so I talked to George, and he said, well, actually, it just so happens that this season we're trying to focus more on regular, not regular collectors, but
Yeah,
those of us who are sort of specialized in certain things. And I said, well, sure, for I just at the time I didn't really consider that my collection would be anything that anyone would really be interested in. And then, over 500,000 views later, it's kind of like, okay, well, I guess somebody was interested in it. And like you said, I mean, I have people come comment or message me all the time that say that I remember that, like we connected. And I think that's part of it is that it's an attainable collection. It's not something that's just totally out of reach and, I guess just my approach to things of saying you buy and wear what you like and what you want and not worrying so much about what other people think about
exactly.
it.
Yeah, that's what got me when I first seen it.
Yeah.
I was like glued, like that was it. Like first the reason I watched it too was Sneaker Grandpa. It was the name, you know what I mean? It's the cat there. Then I was just like, oh, who's this dude? You know what I mean? And then as soon as you said that, like, I'll buy what I like and what I want to wear and stuff like that. You know, that's what I try and say on my show as well. You know, it doesn't have to be, you know, what everyone's got or this and that. You know what I mean? It's like whatever you like. You know what I mean? Is fresh. Do you know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
like, if you like it, buy it. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you don't have what the other people have. It's what you got because you like it. You know what I mean? I always try and say that on my show and push that so people just, you know, you got the confidence. It's like, oh, I'm gonna go buy these tennis that hardly no one's got. You know what I mean? And then that's the best thing about it. You're one of the only people wearing it. Like, you know what I mean? And it's your
yeah,
style. It's what you like. You know, and I think that's what, to me, loving shoes is all about. You know what I mean? It's like if you really love shoes, you buy what you want to buy. You know what I mean? Or what you couldn't get when you were younger. If you were our age, I'm 42 now. You know, but that's what sneakers is to me. Like, I love it. That's why I started this show, because I just love them. You know what I mean? I love it. And no one was doing it here in Australia. No one was doing the show. And it's a small show, you know what I mean? But I've met so many people around the world and has so much opportunities as well. And, you know, it's cool, man. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Talking about sneakers, have you got another couple of pairs you want to show?
Yeah, but you know, back to your point, I mean that sort of has always been the thing. Like to me, it was always about how do you stand out? How do you differentiate yourself and establish your own style and not be like everyone else? But now I go to sneaker shows or I go somewhere and everybody's wearing all the same thing. Like where or when did it flip that everybody wants to wear and have the same thing? And so yeah, I mean it's definitely it's interesting. But like you said, I mean I've been lucky too to, you know, connect with you in Australia a week or so ago. I did something with someone in India. Through
Yeah.
work, I've been able to travel to Singapore, met up with a ton of guys who are now friends of mine. Went to Copenhagen, met up with a guy there. Go to LA, go to New York. Right away, sneakers isn't everything though. That's the thing, is that it's like the commonality that you have, and then you find out what other things you have, and you know you have that. So it's definitely been fun, especially like you said. You know, you're 42, I'm 47. I mean, in my social circle, in my work circle, there's not a lot of people who are interested or, you know, into sneakers. But I think when they find out about it, it's always a great topic of conversation. It's always something cool to share with people. But um, yeah, I mean, it's definitely it's been fun. I mean, I never imagined that I would have the opportunity to do those things, or that, you know, I would grow uh, following like that on Instagram with just basically what started with pictures of my shoes. I mean, that's all it was. It was basically like a daily diary, visual diary of what I wore. And interestingly enough, I didn't really ever show my face or who I was other than my shoes until the Nice Kicks video. Um, and it wasn't really intentional. It's just I wanted it to be about the sneakers. And it's just like the name kind of took on its own deal. But yeah, it's been cool. It's been fun. But you know, I do. So yeah, I mean, you had mentioned Adidas. I mean, the ZX 8000, yeah, you can't go
Yeah.
wrong. This is the sort of the antique looking one or whatever it was that came up a couple years ago. But love this shoe, love this model. Um, yeah, I love pairs like the Superstars and the Stan Smith, but I find them really hard to wear. Not exactly comfortable for day to day wear for me most of the time. The Superstar, especially, I've just never been able to get to fit right. The Stan Smith, I feel like they've kind of cheaped out. Recently, they've pushed it as sort of environmental, you know, non-leather, whatever. Like, well, I don't remember the last time it was truly leather to begin with, anyway. But um, we also talked, you know, New Balance. I mean, I actually had the 993 several years ago. I thought it was the 992 until I found a picture of the beat pair that I'd worn to mow the yard with. But I was happy to get a pair of these. But you just can't really go wrong with the New Balance and the gray like that. Um, Classic, you know, the whole dad shoe thing, I guess, it is what it is. I mean, whatever I wear is going to be a dad shoe anyway, right? So it doesn't matter. But that whole sort of genre, I guess, is what it is.
Yeah.
Um, this is another one, the Reebok Classic Legacy, which is sort of the updated take on the classic leather, which of course I love that model. And it actually, I think it's based on some, but the Aztec um, was a
Okay.
shoe that was sort of from what, late 70s, early 80s. And I think it reminds me more of that, but it's got that classic look, but with this very aggressive, thick midsole. It's actually really, really comfortable. Got two or three pairs of them now. really, really comfortable. In fact, this one's sort of done in the Aztec style. Um, but yeah, otherwise, the only other one I had was one that I actually got in today, Saucony, the Grid Web. Um, these are not releasing for about another week or so. But this is from a shop called Fresh Rags in Tampa, Florida. And of course, being on the beach, and then there they have the manatee is there. And so they did this whole story around that as sort of oceans and
Yeah.
conservation and all that. So just really, really cool pair that I got today. I don't know how well you can see that with
Oh yeah, that
with the manatees inside there, the way that the sort of the water, the flecks in there,
does.
and then the texture on there.
That's cool. Yeah, they're sick.
Yeah, yeah. I really like this model, and I did an unboxing earlier, and I was talking about it. Like I love when, and I was saying the same thing with Reebok, when they bring back a model that you didn't even know you wanted, and you like it, and it's like totally new for you. So maybe it came out in '99 or 2000 when I was probably more focused on work and family and wasn't paying attention to where that was. And now to think that that shoes are retro and it comes out and it's like something totally new to you, and you like it because you knew you liked the classic leather. You knew, for Saucony that there was a Shadow 5000 or Shadow 6000 or whatever, but you didn't even know about this, and they bring it out and suddenly you like it and it's like your new favorite shoe. So I enjoy when brands do something like that. And even with Nike, I mean the Vomero 5, the Air Skylon, the Airspan 2, all those models that, were sort of collectors were clamoring for forever, but that they brought back, and then you could get them usually on sale, and they're more comfortable to me than an Air Max 1 or an Air Max 90 or a lot of sort of those more classic models. So I enjoy things like that, finding sort of gems like that you didn't even know you liked, but suddenly you like them.
Yeah, I had a pair of Sauconys. I'd never seen these before, and we got this app here called OzSale, and they sell stuff heaps cheaper. And this was like a $300 shoe for 120 bucks, and I got it. And the leather and nubuck on the shoe was like it had leather insole. It was unbelievable. And yeah, my friend Jerome at work, he collects shoes as well, And once he gave me a pair of Pumas that he bought that he forgot that he already had a pair. So he goes, "Give me here, I'll give them to you, And then I showed him my photo of the Sauconys, And I had them for ages, and I stopped wearing them. And then just his eyes lit up when he seen the photo. Next day, I brought him to work, and I gave them to him. You know what I mean? Because I just thought he's gonna wear them flat out. You know what I mean? Like, and yeah, he was wrapped. But Saucony's got some tough shoes, like especially like the good quality ones. I remember on your Nice Kicks when you say it's the materials and the way they're made. You know what I mean? Like it's just they're great shoes. You know what I mean? Just the smell of the leather and stuff like that. It's proper stuff. You know what I mean? And I love stuff like that. I was going
Yeah.
to show you something. Every person I know, my friends from the States, when I got this shoe, I showed it to them, and they all freaked out because like how did you get that shoe? This came out years ago. It's the Gold's Gym
Oh
Gladiator.
wow. Holy
You
cow.
remember this?
I've never seen that before. No.
Nah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like it's beat up. Oh no, I can wear it. It's wearable. Like you can see everything's come off the tongue, but the sole's good because the person just lifted weights wearing
Wow.
it. I
So
suppose
is it a basket? It looks like a basketball shoe, but it seems like with
it
golds,
does.
it's
It's for lifting weights.
okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's
Can,
full on.
is can you tell who made it, or is it just made by Golds? It seems like someone else would have made it possibly.
It's actually a Gold's Gym shoe. Yeah,
Wow.
there's nothing on the inside of it or nothing like that. But yeah, it's freaky, Like I paid
Yeah.
25 bucks for it, and my friend sold on canvas, and I showed him, and he's like, "Why?" He goes, let me make an offer to you, and I was like, oh, nah, man, I paid 25 bucks for him. He goes, 25? He goes, are you serious? Like he was freaking out. He goes, I haven't seen those in years. So that's why I thought I want to ask you as well, because everyone I've shown from the States like lost their mind when they seen it. But I did
Never.
too. When I seen it, I was like, it does look like a basketball shoe. Like it looks like an Avia sort of or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it actually looks sort of like a Converse too. It reminds me of some of the cons, some of the ERS series. That's the first thing I thought of when you brought it out.
Yeah.
That's
Did you
wild.
did you ever get into Converse, the old Converse basketballs when you were
Oh,
younger?
oh yeah, oh yeah. Actually, that was probably right after the Jordan 1 was the weapon. I really wanted the weapon, and never did get a pair. And I feel like that Converse has never really given them a proper retro. I bought a pair, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 years ago that they did with the Larry Bird, the black and white, and I just right away I could tell all the differences. Like, this is cheap. I'm getting rid of it. And
Yeah,
then actually later on, like probably eighth, ninth grade, junior high school, early high school, that's what I played basketball in. So all those ERX um, pairs, the three, the four, the 500s, definitely with the wave technology in there and everything. That was a big deal. And then after that, it became a lot more Nike.
yeah. And that's going through college. Like, did you play all the way through college basketball? Or
I mean, in college, it was more just recreational, and that's when that's sort of when I started to get more into the pumps, like my between senior and year and going into university, when I had the first D Brown pumps, and then later I had some of the Sean Kemp. It was the vertical, I think the vertical two, and then that's also somewhere along the line. There's when I got the Jordan 9. That would have been when I was already in college, so that's what I played in. And
yeah,
then after that, that's when I started moving into, more stuff like this. When I got a little bit older, this was more practical for me, day to day wear.
well, I heard they're really comfortable.
Yeah,
Those ones,
yeah,
it,
for
what,
sure.
triple nines or something as well. You got a fair few of those ones. Is that what they call them?
The
Nine?
992?
Is that it? That's the 992. Okay, I thought it
Yeah,
was a nine. Sorry, I don't know much
yeah,
about new, but yeah,
yeah, yeah. Um, I mean, that was kind of the one too, especially around the time that I done the Nice Kicks video. Back to your point. I mean, being at our age, you tend to appreciate things that are well made and have some thought and design into them versus just whatever cheap piece of, just because it's cool. If it's not
yeah.
well made or if it doesn't fit well, then you're probably not going to want it as much. I think we're sort of at an advantage for that, where we don't have to worry about it as much. And I think that's a good example. I mean, at that time when I did that video, New Balance and Reebok were kind of the two that I talked about, really, because New Balance at that time was doing some really cool stuff with West NYC and Concepts, and some of those companies were just premium suede, cool colors, cool makeups, cool packaging, just everything that kind of catches your attention. But, like I said, at my age, I'm not going to buy cheap stuff, whether it be clothes, shoes, whatever it is. You're going to you understand the value of spending a little bit more, that when for the most part, when you spend a little bit more, you're going to get better value for your better quality.
That's the thing. I can't remember. I was watching something and ages ago, and who was it? It was a well-known sneaker person. The Perfect Pair, I think. He picked up a shoe,
Mm,
and then he goes, you know what? He goes, makes me laugh is he goes, people complain about the materials, and then when they bring out something with proper leather and it costs more, then they start complaining about the price. And he's like, well, what are you complaining about? Like, you know what I mean? It's like if you want something good, you're paying for it, and
yeah,
obviously it lasts longer as well. You know what I mean? Like, you can tell. Like, every time I go on Marketplace on Facebook, and if someone's selling Air Force Ones, I'll go onto the photo and I'll enlarge it just to see what the leather's like on them.
yeah,
Because you can tell, like, when they have sales and stuff like that, most of it that they bring out it's crap leather. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
you know, and you got to pay
No,
for it. Stuff
yeah,
you
no,
got to.
and that's one of the things, like with the Reebok Club C that I've talked about before, is there's a huge jump between the 70, $80 pair and the $110 pair. It's like, well, what's the difference? Well, if you hold them side by side, you're gonna exactly what you're saying. This is real leather. This is pleather. This is a soft midsole that's comfortable. That's what's under your foot, so that's what you want. This one's hard and uncomfortable. So, is that
Yeah,
30, $40 worth it? And it just depends on what you're looking for. If you just want it to look cool, you don't care if your feet hurt, then spend less.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But at the
I
same
got.
time, there's others, like recently the Margiela Reebok Club C that they did, that I got, and I was excited about it. And even though it cost more, I thought, well, surely, just like with the Supreme Louis Vuitton collab, you're getting Louis Vuitton quality, but with Supreme branding on it. I'm thinking, well, I'm going to get Margiela quality with, Reebok branding on it. Well, that wasn't the case, because the Club C was not even as high quality as the $110 one and you're charging three times that much. But you figure just because you let them design it and stick their logo on there and make a pretty box for it, then suddenly
Yeah,
you can charge three times that much. It doesn't make sense to me, and I'm not going to go for it.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing too, you know. Yeah, it's also yeah. I get lucky when I get sneakers. Usually, most of my sneakers are second hand, but I get good deals. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I might have a scarf somewhere and someone sold them for like $50 or something like that. But I don't care about that. I'll just because I never had it when I was younger, so I'll get it anyway. You know what I mean? And just like I'm lucky with that. You know what I mean? Like I don't mind. But then the new ones I get, I'll wait until they're on sale or something because no one else really hunts for them. You know what I mean? That's why, like we were talking about, I'm lucky because it's like if I see a new shoe, I'll be like, oh, that's going to be on the website for ages. It's not going to sell out. I know it won't
Yep.
sell out.
Yeah.
Certain people buy it. You know what I mean? And it's not hype or nothing like that. You know, but yeah, you know.
Well,
Do you have?
the shelf life for hype is what, about maybe a month or so anyway. I mean, even
Yeah,
if it first comes out, it's hype, the prices drive up, and for the majority, with some exceptions, the price is going to come back down within, like I said, a month or so, and you're going to find it for cheaper down the line. Or with something like SBs, it's going to go like this, and you just got to just wait for the right time to get in there. So yeah, I
yeah,
mean, when you think about what I sold some of my SBs for, what I could have bought some of SBs for just 2 or 3 years ago compared to where it is now, it's just, to just wait it out.
yeah. I seen a pair of SBs not long ago, and they were made like the first ACG runners.
Yeah.
Remember they came out? Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
And they look, but they were Blazers. They were Blazer SBs, and the dude was selling them cheap as, you know. And I was like, oh, and he lived far as. This is a while back, and then I asked him, I go, oh, would you post them? And he's like, oh, nah. He goes, it's too much trouble to post them. Pick up only, and I was just like, you know what I mean? Like, are you gonna sell them or what? You want the money? Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, man. Have you ever had problems like that buying shoes? Like, people don't want to post them to you, and like, no, you got to pick them up or something like that, or
Yeah, I mean, I run into that here where people say, "Oh, well, I'm here in Austin too. Do you want to just meet up?" I'm like, you know what? Just I'd rather not. I'll ship them to you. Same type of deal. Like I don't have time to be meeting up and doing all that. I'll maybe leave them at the shop and you can go pick them up. But you go through the same thing. I mean, I don't know, selling on eBay and stuff. I had a pair up that I had up forever the other day. Person makes an offer, I accept their offer and don't pay for about 3 or 4 days, and then hey bro, I don't have the funds for it anymore. Would you mind canceling the transaction? I'm like, I don't like I can't even comprehend that transaction or what goes through in your mind to where you make an offer on something, you go out of your way, you do it, and then 4 days later you don't have the money for it anymore. Like, if you're at that point, you don't need to be making offers and trying to buy shoes in the first place. But I mean, eBay in general,
exactly.
or any marketplace really, it's kind of a crapshoot of what you're going to get. I mean, there's tons of totally cool people that will work with you and do those things, and there's others that you just know right away. You just kind of have a bad feeling about, like, this is gonna turn into a claim. This is gonna be a, and sure enough, most of the time by now you're like, yep, that didn't work out.
Yeah, 100%, man. Um, thank you for coming on the show, man. It's been a pleasure to meet you, and yeah, hopefully, I'll keep in touch as well. And
Yeah, for sure.
actually, can you message me the name of that shoe store that reopened? With one of the guys that you're saying, what was it, Kicking It or something like that? Was
Kicking it,
it?
yeah, kicking it. ATX is their Instagram. So, but I'll send you their info. So for sure.
Yes, man, 100%. Thank you so much, man, for
No,
taking
thank you for
time.
having me. I appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, man. Be well. Enjoy the rest of
Okay,
your week.
you too. Thank you, man.
No worries, man.
Bye bye.
All right. How do I do this? I can't do this now. Oh, there it. All right. I was mad. I hope everyone enjoyed that. That was awesome. That was awesome. Stick around. I've got some stuff. Like I was saying before, our shout outs to Lynn's and Third Chapter as well. I won the competition. Once that arrives, I'll be doing an unboxing, 100%. Um, like I said, I mean, the boys from Itch Pig, we're starting a relationship now. We're going to do some reviews on my show. Like I said, I never started this show to get stuff, and everything that I get from brands is a blessing. You know what I mean? And like this brand right now, this is brand new, came out this year. This brand, 37th. You know, we started talking last week, and they sent me a package, man. And this is one of the hats. It's got the globe, 37th worldwide. Go check out their Instagram. You know what I mean? Good prices, good qualities. Jumper. I'm in my 40s. Uno, we loved Uno back in the days. They got me some shirts too. This is one of the shirts. This is sick. It was a mad one and mad quality, you know what I mean? And I don't know if people notice, pretty much the only things I share is homegrown brands. For pretty much most of them, Melbourne. There's another shirt. You know what I mean? And give him a follow. And, you know, like I said, he's got cool stuff, man. You know what I mean? And like it all started with Clear Cut for me. I'll shout out Clear Cut, Burn, Wanderer, One Line, SUD. Now, of course, Ishpig, and of course, Raymond's, All Stations Clothing. You know what I mean? All these people believe in me, supporting me and my show. You know what I mean? And you know, I love it. I love it, man. I love it. You know, and like, don't get me wrong. I grew up loving tennis brands and stuff like that. But these people now are telling their own story, and you know, get behind them. You know what I mean? Wear stuff from your own city. You know what I mean? Like if you're into graph, you know, get All Stations or One Line or Burn or Raymond's. You know what I mean? All this stuff. You know, even if you're not into it. You know what I mean? Wanderer. You know what I mean? Each Pig, One Line, all these brands from Melbourne. You know what I'm saying? This is another hat from 37th. Everyone knows what that symbol is. It's like the TN symbol. And got the writing on the side. Like, this is sick quality, man. You know what I mean? Sorry, I've got the shakes a bit there. But yeah, just, you know, it's get get behind these brands. You know what I mean? Like it's sick. Like I said, don't get me wrong. You know, I grew up loving Sergio and all that and stuff like this. But this stuff, man, like this is the bomb, man. This is good stuff, and it's good pricing. And you know, get behind them, man. Follow them. Get some good gear off them. You know what I mean? I came home the other day. I got a mad package from my man Kirby from Wanderer. This is the beanie. Like, look at the quality. You know what I mean? It's like sick quality, old school style, with the patch on the front. You know what I mean? Got this jumper. Deborah had a good take on this jumper. It looks like something from the 80s that someone would wear in Aspen at a ski lodge. This one goes for, I think, 99 online and in stores. You got the tag there with the blueprint. I can't remember. You got the patch on the side as well. And it's mad quality, you know what I'm saying? And it's Melbourne, you know, represent, man. And this is a beast. This thing, this is unbelievable. So the arm, I love the arm, the writing on the arm. That's tough, man. So the back first, this is mad windbreaker. So you got that there, the quarter zip. I love myself a quarter zip right there. The Wanderer. I'll show that like that. Yeah, man. All these brands, I've got Instagrams, online stores. If you like vintage stuff, the Vintologists, I think they're in Adelaide, I think. And here, there's one here, Uncle Charlie's Closet, doing their thing. And that's the shop's just near my house. And I've been in there. They've got a basketball court in there, and it's sick. It's unbelievable. It's mad. And he sells a grouse vintage stuff. So if you're into old school vintage clothes and stuff, go and check them out. You know what I mean? And go and check out brands like this, man. Go give them a follow. You know, support local businesses. You know what I mean? Because they're doing their thing and they make good quality clothes. And you know, why not? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people look the same these days. You know what I mean? But that's it from me. Thank you for watching again. There's another episode down. I think this one's 55. Yeah. Thanks to Sneaker Grandpa as well. Thanks to all the brands that support my show. Hopefully I didn't leave one out. Did I leave one out? No, I don't think I did. But if I did, sorry. There they are right there. You know what, man? My pleasure. Thank you. You know what I mean? Thank you. You too, my brother. All stations in the house. Everyone's in the house, man. But have a great weekend, and I'll see you next episode.